so big, black, and so dark. And I don't know where to my hotel. So I asked the porter. I speak very clearly and carefully. Whatever, the porter don't understand what I say. And I repeat my question several times. And the last, he understand. I understand. And then he said to me, neither very slowly and unclearly. I'm frightened. He say something to me, and I understand. My teacher never spoke English like that, and I and the professor look each other and smile, and he said something to me, and I understood. I wonder, in England, a man speak different language, and I don't understand them. Do they speak English?
Do they speak English? I arrived at London at last. The railway station was big, black and dark. I don't know the way to my hotel, so I asked porter. They speak English, not carefully, but clearly as well. However, the porter was not understanding. I repeat my question several times, but at last he understood me. He spoke neither slowly and not carefully. And I said, I'm foreigner. He spoke slowly, and I never understood him. My English teacher never spoke English like that. My English teacher never spoke like that. The porter and I was the porter and I was seeing each other and smiling. And the porter was spoke again, and I understood. He said, "You also learn English." He said, "I wonder, in England in English each other or speak a different language, but the language was understand each other, and not understand them. Do they speak English?"
Do they speak English? I arrived in London at last. The railway station was big, black and dark. I did not know the way to my hotel. So I asked porter. I not only spoke English very carefully, but very clearly as well. The porter, however, not understand me. So I repeat my question several times, and at last he understood. He answered me. He spoke neither slowly, not clearly. I am foreigner. I said, I am foreigner. I said, then he spoke slowly. But I could not understand him. My teacher never spoke English like that. The porter and I looked at each other and smiled. Then he said something, and I understood it. You'll soon learn English. The English understand each other, but I don't understand them. But I don't understand them. Do they speak English?
Do they speak English? I arrived in London at last. The railway station was big, black and dark. I didn't know the way to my hotel, so I asked porter. I not only spoke English, very carefully, but very clearly as well. However, the porter not understand me. I repeat my question several times. At last, he understood. He answered me. Then he spoke slowly. Then he spoke neither slowly and not clearly. I am foreigner. Then he spoke slowly, but I could not understand him. My teacher never spoke English like that. The porter and I looked at each other and smiled. Then he said something, and I understood it. You will soon learn English, he said. I wonder. In England, each man speaks a different language. The English understand each other, but I don't understand them. Do they speak English?
Do they speak English? I arrived in London at last. The railway station was big, black and dark. I didn't know the way to my hotel, and I asked the porter. I not speak English only carefully, but very clearly, as well. I asked to the porter, but he could not understand me, and I asked several times, and at the last he understand and he understood and he answered me. He speak very slowly and very not clearly, and he said something and I not understand him. My teacher not speak English like that, and I and the porter look at each other and smile. And he said something that I understood it. You will learn English later, he said. I wonder in England, and each man speak a different language, but the English is understand each other, but I don't understand them. Do they speak English?
Do they speak English? I arrived in London at last. The railway station was big, black and dark. I did not know the way to my hotel, so I asked porter. I not only spoke English very carefully, but also very clearly as well. The porter, however, could not understand me. I repeated my question several times, and at last he understood it. He answered me, but he spoke neither clearly nor slowly. I am a foreigner, I said. Then he spoke slowly, but I could not understand it. My teacher never spoke English like that. The porter and I looked at each other and smiled. Then he said that something that I understand. You will soon learn English, he said. I wonder, in England, each man speaks a different language. English could understand them. However, I couldn't understand them. Do they speak English?
Do they speak English? I arrived in London at last. The railway station was big, black and dark. I did not know the way to my hotel, and I asked to the porter. I spoke English very carefully and very clearly as well. But however, the porter could not understand me. I repeat my question several times, and at the last, he answered me. And he understand and he answered me. Uh, he answered me, and he said slowly and not clearly. I said, I am the foreigner. Uh, but he spoke slowly and I could not understand him. My teacher, uh, my teacher uh, never spoke English like that. And the porter and I looked at each other and smiled. Then he spoke and he said something that I understand. He said something that I understand. He said, you will learn English. And he said, I wonder in English, in England. And each man speak different language. And each man speak different language. The English understand each other, but I don't understand them. Do they speak English?
Do they speak English? I arrived in London at last. The railway station was big, black and dark. I don't know the way to my hotel, so I asked the porter. I'm not just spoke English very carefully, but very clearly as well. The porter, however, could not understand me, and I repeat my question several times. And the porter answered, but the porter said neither slowly and not clearly. I am a foreigner, I said. And he said slowly, and I could not understand. The porter and I looked to each other and smiled. The porter said something, and I understand it. You should learn English like that. He said, I wonder. He said, I wonder. Each man speak in different language. Each man speak different language. The English is understand, but I don't understand them. Do they speak English?
Do they speak English? I arrived in London at last. The rail station was big, black and dark. I didn't know the way to my hotel, so I asked the porter. I not spoke very carefully, but it was clearly. But the porter, however, could not understand me. I repeated my question several times, and at last he understood. He spoke neither slowly but not clearly and clearly. I'm a foreigner, I said. He said something, but I could not understand him. My teacher never spoke English like that. The porter and I looked at each other and smiled. And he said something, and I understood it. You can learn English, he said. I wonder, in English, people speak in different language. The English can understand each other, but I don't understand them. Do they speak English? Do they speak English? I arrived in London at last. The railway station was big, black and dark. I did not know the way to my hotel, so I asked porter. I not spoke English very carefully, but very clearly as well. Uh, as well. The porter, however, could not understand me. I repeated my questions several times, and at last he understood. He answered me, but he spoke neither slowly nor clearly. I'm a foreigner, I said. Then he spoke slowly. But I don't understand it. I don't understand it. My teacher never spoke like that. He he said something and I understood it. You son learn English. He said I wonder. In England, each man speak a different language. The England understood each other. But I don't understand them. Do they speak English?
Do they speak English? I arrived in London at last. The railway station was big, black and dark. I didn't know the way to my hotel, so I spoke her. I not only spoke English very carefully, but very clearly as well. The porter, however, could not understand me. I'm foreigner, I said. Then he spoke. Then he answered me, but he spoke neither slowly. I repeat my question several times, but he could not understand me. I'm questioned, I said. Then he answered me, but I could not understand me. My teacher never spoke English like that. The porter and I looked at each other and smiled. And then he said something, and I understand it. You soon learn English later. He said, I wonder. In England, each man speak a different language. The English understand each other, but I don't understand them. Do they speak English?
Do they speak English? I arrived in London at last. The railway station was big, black and dark, and I don't know where to my hotel. So I asked to the porter. I'm not only asked carefully, but very clearly as well. The porter, however, could not understand me. And I repeat my question several times, and at the last, he understood me. He answered, but he spoke slowly and not clearly. I am Wagner, I said, and he spoke slowly, but I don't understand it. My teacher never spoke English like that. I and the porter see each other and smile. And the porter said something, and I understood it. You also learn English. He said, I wonder in England, each man speak different language. The England man understand each other, but me don't understand them. Do they speak English?
I arrived at London at last. The railway station was big, black and dark. I did not know the way to my hotel, so I asked the porter. I spoke English very carefully. I not spoke English very carefully, but I spoke very clearly as well. The porter, however, could not understand me. I repeated my question several times. At last, he understood. He answered me, but he spoke neither slowly and not clearly. I am correct, I said. But he spoke neither slowly. My teacher never spoke English like that. And I looked at the porter to each other and smiled. Smiled and smiled. Oh, then he said something and I understood it. You'll soon learn English. It wonder in England. In England, it means different language. English is made to you can know without. But I don't understand them. Do they speak English?
Do they speak English? I arrived in London at least. The railway station was so big and dark. I could not find way to my hotel, so I asked a porter. But the porter could not understand me. I repeat my question several times, but he could not understand me. And I said, "I'm a porter." I said. And then he answered me. He speak not clearly, so slowly, not clearly. I could not understand him. My English teacher never spoke English like that. My English teacher never spoke English like that. And then I'm the porter, look at each other and smile, and then smile, and then look each other and then smile, and then he spoke. He said something that I understood. He said, "You will soon learn English." And I wonder, each man in England, each woman in England speak many language. But I could not, and English understand each other, but I could not understand him. Do they speak English?
Do they speak English? I arrived in London at last. The railway station was big, black and dark. I didn't know the way to my hotel, so I asked porter. I not only spoke English very carefully, but very clearly as well. The porter, however, couldn't answer me. I repeated my question several times, and at the last, he understood. He answered me, but he spoke neither slowly nor clearly. I am a foreigner, I said. Then he spoke slowly, but I couldn't understand him. My teacher never spoke English like that. The porter and I looked at each other and smiled. Then he said something, and I understood it. "You'll soon learn English," he said. I wondered. In England, each man speak a different language. The English understand each other, but I don't understand them. Do they speak English?
Do they speak English? I arrived in London at last. The railway station was black and dark. I didn't know way to my hotel, so I asked the porter. I asked the porter, and then I not only spoke English very carefully, but I very clearly as well. The porter, however, could not understand him. I repeated my question several times, several times. At last, he answered me. He understood me. He answered the neither slowly, but I could not understand him. I am the foreigner. I said, and then I said, I could not understand it. Then he spoke English neither slowly. My teacher never speak English like that. And then he said, I and Porter face to face and smile. And he said, you should learn English. I understood each other, but I could not understand them. Do they speak English?
Do they speak English? I arrived at London at last. The railway station was big, black and dark. I need to go to my hotel, so I asked the porter. I not only spoke English like very clearly. As well, the porter, however, could not understand me. I repeated my question several times. At last, understood. He answered me, but he spoke neither slowly, but I don't understand him. I for dinner, I said. Then he spoke slowly, but I don't understand him. My teacher never spoke English like that. Then I looked at the porter and other smiled. The porter some speak English and I understood it. You also learn English. He said, I ordered in England. Each man order different language. Then you speak understood its order, but I don't understand them. Do they speak English?
Do they speak English? I arrived in London at last. The railway station was big, black and dark. I didn't know the way to my hotel. I asked the porter. I not spoke English very careful, but very clearly as well. The porter, however, could not understand me. I repeated my question several times. At last, he understood. He answered, but he neither slowly nor clearly. I'm for a general. Then he spoke slowly. I could not understand him. My teacher never spoke English like that. The porter and I looked at each other and smiled. Then he said something. I understood. You shall learn English. He said, I wonder in England. Each man speak different language. The English I understand. The English I understand each other, and I don't understand them. Do they speak English?
Do they speak English? I arrived in London at last. The railways were so big, black and dark. I did not know to go away in my hotel, and I asked the porter. I not spoke English very carefully, but I speak clearly. After I asked the porter not understood me. And then after the porter not understand me, I I asked again. I repeat my answer, and the porter understand me. And then a porter answered me. He said he spoke English neither slowly. I not understand him, and he spoke English so slowly. And I said, my teacher never spoke English like that. My teacher never spoke English like that. And then he spoke he speak the other speak, and then I understand him. And a porter and me, it's then and smart. Then he said something and I understood it. Then he said something and I understood it. And then he said, your son learn English again. And then he said, I wonder in England, each man speak different language. The English understand each other, but I don't understand. But I don't understand them. Do they speak English?
Do they speak English? I arrived in London at last. The railway station was big, black and dark. I did not know the way to my hotel, so I asked porter. I not only spoke English very carefully, but very clearly as well. The porter, however, did not understand me. I repeated my question several times, and at last he understood. I'm foreigner, I said. Then he spoke. Not clearly. I understand. I not understand him. My teacher never spoke English like that. The porter and I looked at each other and smiled. Then he said something and I understood. You'll soon learn English. He said, I wonder. In England, it's meant to spoke a different language. The English understand each other and I don't understand them. Do they speak English?